Good morning, my name is Maree Krishnasamy, and it's my absolute pleasure to be opening the forum here today. Fantastic turnout. Barry was just saying, I think when they first thought of the day, the plan was to have around 100 people. There were 120 registered in the first 4 days, or 170 in the first 4 days, and we're now up to about 200 people. So I think it's obviously really touched something that is important to all of you in the room. So welcome and thank you for giving your time today. We're on a really tight schedule, so for the first session I'll be moving people through, but just some quick housekeeping. You've got for those of you who are going to log on to the Slido event, please try and use it. You can post questions on there as we go. There won't be enough time throughout the sessions for you to get all the questions up, so that way we get a way of logging them and prioritising some questions up so we get the most important things answered. And Barry's going to moderate the questions as he comes, so if your favourite question isn't on the list, he's the man to blame. So please use it. It's the first time using it, but I think it'll really help us move through the session and the forum really well. There will, of course, be more opportunity for asking people questions during the breaks as the day goes on, and certainly in the expert panel later in the day. If you're a tweeter, please tweet. There's plenty of opportunity with the hashtag #ChemoSafety, so get the messages out there to people. And really what we want you to do, not just this morning, but throughout the day, is to really reflect on the service and the clinical practice issues that were front of mind for you when you registered to come today, and think about how today's content really relates to some of those issues. What are the areas you think need to be strengthened? What are the actions that we need to think about today and, very importantly, take forward? And where can we make improvements in the system to the benefit of all the patients and those of you who work across the system across Victoria? So please make sure your phones are on silent. There's an opportunity if you have a break and check up on emails and things if you want later on through the day. Very importantly, bathrooms are out to the right and just around the corner a little. There are only 6, so ladies, get there quickly. Just a quick sort of definitional issue. So today, although we're talking about chemotherapy, we're obviously talking about all systemic anti-cancer agents, so just to put that into context. So without any further delay, it's my real pleasure to invite and introduce Maree Keenan, who is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Chief Nurse and Midwifery Officer for Safer Care Victoria. And Maree is going to open the forum and do the Welcome to Country. Thanks, Maree.
Thanks, Mai. Welcome, everybody, and great to see such energy in the room and to see some familiar faces as well. I'd like to begin this morning by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past and present. Thanks for attending today, and thanks for the enthusiasm of this topic. Obviously, safety and quality is pretty close to my heart, otherwise I wouldn't be doing the role that I'm doing with Safer Care Victoria. And it's fantastic to have so many people here gathered today to talk about this topic and to be focused on safety and quality and improving the care for our community across Victoria and beyond. Thanks for those that have travelled to be here today on this pretty drizzly, awful Melbourne morning. We've got participants from metro and regional services across the state, and we've got representation from both the public and the private sector, so that's a great combination. I'd also like to acknowledge that Christine Carrington has joined us today from Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane and is going to present later on today on delivery of safe cancer therapy. So I think it's great to have one of our interstate colleagues here today. I don't need to tell you just the advances in terms of chemotherapy and other treatments, and it seems that every other day there's something that I see, in the press or, in the media and in the journals around the advances in chemotherapy and other therapies. And that allows us the opportunity to think about where that's delivered. And we know that it's delivered in a range of health services across the state. They're administered in diverse settings, from small rural hospitals to dedicated units in tertiary centres, and increasingly at times in settings outside of other than oncology units as the diversity grows. And, chemotherapy is a significant part of the treatment for people with cancer. And however, that it does also present high potential for harm, which is why we need to be, having forums like today. Treatment regimes can be very complex. They're often delivered over extended periods of time by a variety of routes. New chemotherapy drugs and protocols are frequently introduced into practice, and that's really challenging to keep up with that. This complexity and rapidly changing clinical landscape results in significant quality and safety risks. And today you're going to hear about the results of an audit that we undertook across Victoria, and thanks for participating in that audit, of chemotherapy nurse competency. And it's only through understanding this, these sorts of issues can we actually continue to improve. We need to use data and information so that we can improve and measure and see the difference that we're making. The 2016 Targeting Zero report highlighted the needs for hospitals to consistently provide high quality, safe and continuously improve our care. And more recently, with the establishment of a Safer Care Victoria and the partnership that we're having with the department, there's been an increase on quality and safety in Victorian chemotherapy services after adverse events were reported in other jurisdictions. Today's forum provides the opportunity for Safer Care Victoria to partner with the Cancer Strategy and Development team at the Department of Health and Human Services and to help improve the governance and clinical practices around chemotherapy and other forms of treatment. This event forms the part of the wider program of activity outlined in the Victorian Cancer Plan 2016 to 2020. And as we work to ensure all Victorians have the best possible experience of the cancer treatment and care system, it is a fantastic opportunity for you to share and learn from your colleagues and to build partnerships and links across the sector. So I really encourage you throughout the day to reflect on your perspective at your health service or practice and to consider where this could be strengthened and improved to ensure we're all providing the best, safest care. I encourage you to meet new people and to talk to different people about practice so that you're not just within your own services. And I also encourage you to commit to yourself something that you're going to do when you go back to work on Tuesday, most likely. Some people will be going back earlier. It's what you're going to take away from today and what you're going to do back at your service and in your practice to improve the care that you deliver to your patients. So have a fantastic day. This is a great program that's been put together, and if I don't stop now, I'll be getting the bell and being sent off the podium here. So lovely to see you and have a great day. Thank you.